Barcelona is one of the most visited cities in the world, but with travel restrictions and different health measures put in place, the city looks a lot different than it did just a year ago. It's hard to believe that it's already been 1 year since the coronavirus hit Spain, and in this video, I want to show you just how much has changed in Barcelona in 1 year living with COVID.
The first big change you're going to notice is obviously a lack of tourism. It's been such a big hot topic issue in the last couple of years here in Barcelona. Even just outside of the cathedral where we are right now, you can see there's a lot more space and less people coming in. But on the opposite side of that, you're seeing a lot more locals taking more of an interest again in learning and experiencing that city. At the same time, what you're seeing is the city government looking at how they can change that model for tourism, looking at more of a cultural model than what they had done in the last couple of years. The other thing you'll notice is that you'll see a lot more shops that are closed down, and you'll see a lot of signs like you can see right behind me that are for rent or for sale. But you can see that it's the dependence on that tourism in areas like the Gothic Quarter that have caused a lot of closure for these shops, where you can see even entire streets like we're on right now that have been basically closed down, or these places have been forced to move. It might be temporary, it might be forever, but a lot of these shops have had to close. One of the other spots that's obviously affected by the lack of tourism is Las Ramblas, which before the pandemic you would see people from all over coming and walking down, which forced a lot of locals to try to kind of avoid this spot. But what you're seeing now is more people using that Rambla than before. Another big change is that outside of the Boqueria market, you don't have that swarm of people trying to get in, which has allowed for more locals again to start reusing that market. Maybe it didn't fully stop, but there was just so much that there used to be a lot of complaints about the number of people that were here that were really causing problems for people to buy their local produce or anything. Now you see it's locals buying their products again, but there's a lot less shops that are open. Let's check out a little bit and see what it looks like. So you can see that that main strip is basically still open, but more of the shops and things that are in the back are a little bit more closed. And the fact that you can walk from one end to the other in just a few seconds changes everything. One of the other big things you'll notice, the amount of locals that are actually here at the beach. Before it seemed like it was all tourism, but now there's people that are actually coming over and taking advantage of the fact that you have all of this space to hang out, even in the middle of the day. Before, maybe it seemed like anybody that lived here would go out of the city to some of those other beaches, but now they're coming over to beaches like the Barceloneta and taking advantage of that. One of the other things you might notice now is that there's access points to get onto the sand. So most of the beach is roped off, and only in certain spots can you get in. In the Eixample district, one of the things that you'll see is they've actually closed off a lot of the streets, and it was one of the measures that they took right at the beginning of the pandemic to kind of open up those sidewalks. There's obviously going to be a lot less car movement and traffic around, so they've opened up these streets, and they've actually, a lot of times, they've amplified the sidewalk to really give more space for even terraces, for some restaurants, and they've even added these benches that I'm sitting on right now, just if anybody wants to sit down. Those popular tourist attractions like the Casa Milà that you can see right behind me that get over 1 million visitors a year don't have those lines outside, and they're actually on reduced hours right now, so you can only really go in on the weekend. But just like that Gothic Quarter, a lot of locals are taking an interest in going inside again, so you see a lot of offers that are geared towards the people that live here, and a lot of different discounts that you'll also get as well. Other places like the Casa Batlló or Sagrada Familia are completely closed right now.
We still don't know when travel or those borders will be open again, but I'll keep you up to date on all of that new information as more and more vaccines are given out and those restrictions are loosened up. We will get back to normal, and I can't wait to see you back out here in Barcelona. Until then, subscribe to the channel and check out some of those other videos that'll help you get better prepared for your next trip to Barcelona.